everyone, welcome or welcome back to the Marketing Nomad YouTube channel. I am the Marketing Nomad. Alrighty, Friday, week recap. Alright, so, and I think we'll talk a little bit about this more because I truly believe that entrepreneurship is about channeling the energy of the universe, which is why the kind of rules that apply to entrepreneurship aligns a lot with the laws of the universe. And the more I understand it, align with it, embody that, I'm actually beginning to see a lot of dramatic changes with my business, which is why, moving forward, I think that you are also going to hear me talk a lot about the laws of the universe, energy, how to align that with your business as well, especially with entrepreneurship or starting a business. You are doing something that is not the norm. You are deviating from that. You are trusting the universe to supply you with everything that you need in order to create something that can benefit the people around you. All right. And in order for you to channel the universe's energy, you have to align with the laws of the universe. And it's also why, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, every single aspect of you is brought up to the surface at different stages. What is happening in your personal life somehow correlates to what is happening in your business. Every single aspect of your life is interconnected, and that aligns very well with the laws of the universe as well. We'll kind of talk about this in detail in another episode, but let's talk about one of the laws of the universe that I actually did apply with respect to my business, and I'm slowly starting to see the I guess I would say the effects of it. All right. So one law of the universe is that until you become it, until you are, that becomes your identity. Whatever changes you've made with respect, like for example, your thought processes, your mindset, strategies for your business, whatever it is, until it becomes a part of your identity, you will not be able to stabilize the energy of it in your external reality. We attract what we are. And until we are that, until it becomes part of our identity, we may see bursts of it in our external reality, but to truly stabilize in the external reality, as in to truly see a permanent effect of it in our external reality, it has to become who we are, because the fundamental law of manifestation is we attract what we are. So until we are that, it might not necessarily manifest permanently in our external reality. We may see glimmers of it. We may see like bumps, beautiful little tiny surprises of it. But for it to be a permanent addition in our external reality, we need to stabilize in the energy within us, all right? And so I understand this very, very well with respect to all aspects of my life. Like if I want to make a change with respect to my mindset, until I actually embody that energy, not just embody that energy, becomes a part of my identity, I will not be able to see permanent changes in my external reality. So I applied the same concept to my business as well. As you may know, if you've been following the videos that I've been posting, I have made some very dramatic changes with respect to my business, and it kind of started in December, and I guess December was a dramatic change, and then another dramatic change in February, all right, end of February, towards the end of February, started implementing that in March. And for me, I know, because I understand the concept of stabilization within me, stabilization of that strategy, for me to actually see the results of it, I have given myself like 3 months. I kind of intuitively know that it's going to take me 3 months for that energy to stabilize within me, and thus I will be able to see the results of it outside of me more permanently. All right, so I kind of understand this, and so I've been giving myself that space and that time, and I've been kind of even walking myself through moments of panic that I do have, that I'm not really seeing anything outside of me. Like, I'm doing all of these, I've made such big changes, I'm really scared, like what is it gonna lead me to? And I'm not really seeing anything in my external reality just yet. I'm not necessarily seeing the results of it, but there is a certain threshold that you need to get to. There's a certain stability that needs to happen with respect to those strategies. It needs to become the identity of my business. It needs to become my identity because, well, my business is a reflection of me, right? That is pretty much what entrepreneurship is. And so one thing that's changed this week from last week is that this week I'm starting to see like pops of surprises that my strategies are working, like the dramatic changes that I've made. Yeah, I'm seeing like a sudden rise in something, or like a sudden increase in one particular KPI, and then it goes back to what it was. And it's very easy to feel defeated in moments like this because you see it pop, but then it goes back to the original KPI, I guess I would say. But for me, I'm actually taking all of this as confirmation that yes, I'm in alignment, I'm doing something right. I just need to keep going, because the more I stabilize in this energy, the more that these strategies just become a natural alignment of who I am, who my business is, or what my business is, I guess. But I do treat my business as a person. That's a conversation for a different video. But what my business actually is, it has to become part of my business's identity. Only and only then will I see this surprises, these pops. It will be more permanent. It will be just part of my external reality rather than surprises. And so this week, it's just been so nice to actually see these pops of surprises. For me, I take that as confirmation that absolutely you're on the aligned path. Just keep going, just keep going. It's also one of the motivations that got me to do this video today. To be very honest with you, I didn't think that I would upload a video today. I wasn't feeling very well. This was up until like 3 p.m. for me. I wasn't feeling very well, and then I started to feel better, and I was like, okay, you know what, let's just do a video. And I like talking about energy, right? So I kind of decided on the topic. I was like, yeah, okay, what has this week been like for me? And I was like, yeah, this week has been about seeing these little glimmers, seeing these little pops of surprises, and understanding that even though it popped and then it went back to what it was. In the past, like if you asked me 4 years ago, I would feel so defeated. I would be like, okay, why am I not able to stabilize that energy? But today, there's so much of growth in my mindset. There's so much of growth with respect to my understanding of how this works. Immediately the message that came through to me was, hey, you're doing something right, because you're seeing confirmations of it. Yes, you're not able to sustain in that energy because that takes time. It has to become who you are. You know, the routines that you've set, the systems and processes that you've set, it has to become who you are. It has to become part of your identity. It has to become a part of your business's identity. That's going to take some time. But the fact that you're able to tap into that timeline for those brief seconds, and that's what those surprises are, and that's a confirmation that you are in alignment. So I wanted to share that with you because when you make certain changes with respect to your life, with respect to your business, it is going to take you some time for you to see permanent results outside of you. The reason for that is that energy needs to stabilize within you first. It needs to become who you are, all right? Whether it's your business or you. At the end of the day, your business is the reflection of who you are. So it needs to become who you are. And the fundamental core law of manifestation is we attract what we are. We don't attract what we want. There's no positive or negative, nothing of that sort. We plain and simple attract what we are. So when we are these systems and processes and these routines, these changes that we've made, that's when our external reality reflects what our internal reality is. But when we're not able to stabilize in the energy, we'll only see it as random pops. It'll come, it'll be like a sudden spike, and then it'll go back to what it was. But that shouldn't dishearten you. That should actually motivate you, let you know that, hey, you are in alignment. Sometimes when it goes back to what it was, we can panic and change little things. No. You're meant to stabilize in that energy. The reason why it goes up and goes back down to where it was is not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're doing something right, but it needs to become part of your identity. So keep going. Make that into a routine. Keep going, keep going, keep going. At some point, it becomes who you are, that is when it will spike. Yes, absolutely, but you'll be able to maintain that. It will plateau over there. It won't just come down. All right. So that is what this week has been for me. It has been more about recognizing these little sparkles or these little spikes, and smiling to myself and understanding that I'm doing something in alignment. I just have to keep going. I just have to stabilize in that energy for me to find that peak, but also stabilize in that peak. So I did get confirmation. Like if you watch the previous videos, there was absolutely no confirmation outside of me. Like not even these little spikes was happening up until last week. If you checked out last week's recap, you would know that it's just about going forward. I was so much in the dark, but this week there has been like little sparkles of light, and I'm just like, I'm so grateful for it, that because those are confirmations that I am in alignment, and if I keep continuing what I am doing, I am going to hit that, but I will also maintain that. And last week was like so in the dark, and I was in the dark for how long? I started this, like, for example, let's take March 1st, all right? Because technically it was February 28th, but we're just gonna take it as March 1st, all right? So from March 1st all the way till today is like April 17th, like this whole week, I guess I would say. So up until like April, the second week of April, it was just me making all of these changes with respect to the strategies, with respect to even me, how I'm showing up for my business, changes in my mindset, my routines, everything was like such a dramatic change that I honestly feel like I'm becoming a new person with respect to my business, which was the whole point of it actually. I was literally like going in the dark. I was not necessarily seeing the results that I was looking for, the results that I was hoping for, but I did know that it would take some time for those results to show. And there's like a certain threshold where it would be absolutely nothing and then it will spike. But this week's been good. This week, I'm still kind of back to where I was with respect to the KPIs of last week, but there was like a spike and then it went back to it. So that tells me that, hey, you are in alignment, just continue doing what you're doing, but you have to stabilize in that energy. It has to become who you are. Only and only then will you see it reflecting in your external reality. But the fact that you are able to recognize those peaks, even if it drops back down, those peaks are an indication of what can be permanent in your life, all right? And so for me, I understand that that peak can be a permanent for my life, and I just have to keep going. I have to stabilize in this energy, and then that peak will plateau, and that's what I'm looking for. That's what you want as well. You know, it's not about the highs that you hit, it's about how long you can sustain that high. That is I think I guess a good goal to have with respect to your business. Otherwise, you know, you're hitting it and then you're crashing back down, and that's just messy. So I'm looking for plateaus. I'm looking for like peak and then plateau with the peak. I think that is what determines success for me. Not what you hit, but how long you can sustain that. That is the true definition of success for me. And I've kind of written about it in my book, 0 to 4 Figures, Lessons Learned by a Broke CEO. If you want to check it out, links are there in the description box below. But this one was very energy intensive. I can go on forever. Like, I can go on and on and on about energy, laws of the universe. And I feel like a lot of it, like absolutely all of it, I think applies to entrepreneurship. Because first off, you're relying on the energy of the universe to create something, all right? And to bring you the clients that you are looking for, to bring you the money that you need to keep going, and much more as well. So everything, you're depending on the universe. When you're depending on the universe, when you're channeling the energy of the universe, then you have to align with the laws of the universe. And it's very, very clear in entrepreneurship, very, very evident in entrepreneurship. Of course, you can apply the laws of the universe to, you know, your 9-to-5 job as well. That would be amazing. I think that you would actually see a lot of differences in how things align with you, because everything at the end of the day is energy, and energy is also everything. All right. So, but with respect to entrepreneurship, because you are actually wholly dependent on the universe, it's just absolutely essential that you align with the laws of the universe. But of course, you know, the laws of the universe do apply to other areas of one's life, but in entrepreneurship it just is highlighted. Like, there is no workaround. You can't work around it. You have to align with the laws of the universe, and it's not the same ball game. I guess I would say it's a very, very different mindset. Very, very I don't know how to say it. It's just different. It's just absolutely different because you're channeling energy that is out there, whether it comes in the form of money or clients or however it is. Ease, that is also energy, right? So however it comes to you, you're still channeling the energy that is out there, and you're creating something with that. So the laws are different for that, and that's why I love talking about energy so much. Like the moment you actually start to understand how interconnected everything is, even with respect to your business, it just blows my mind. Like even to this day, there's so many things that there's one aspect of my like personal relationships that kind of shows up in my business, and I'm like, wow, okay, that is how crazy it all is. That is how interconnected it all is. I will talk about that in another episode at some point. But it really is. Everything really is interconnected. And that's why I think with respect to entrepreneurship, it takes a lot out of you to be an entrepreneur and sustain in that energy of being an entrepreneur, because you are shown how interconnected every aspect of your life is, and your business is a reflection of who you are, including other aspects of your life that you thought was completely unrelated to entrepreneurship. It brings out all of that at different stages. Different aspects of you are highlighted, different areas of your lives are highlighted, and you have to kind of shift your mindset, work on that in order to align with the next stage of growth of your business. Even if it may seemingly feel like it's not connected in 3D, everything is interconnected in 5D. Yeah, I could go on talking a lot about energy and the laws of the universe, and I think that I want to. I feel like it is who I am today, so I am going to be talking a lot more about that. That is also, I guess, the kind of people that I want to attract as well, the kind of people that I want to align with. People who think like me, who feel as strongly as I do about entrepreneurship and the laws of the universe aligning with that. I want to kind of be in the presence of people who feel the same way as well. So I want to start talking more about it, just that I know when I am truly that, when I embody that energy, that is how it will get reflected in my external reality as well. That is how I will start attracting people who think the same way as I do, who align with the same energy as I do. I will also align with people who perhaps I can learn from, because they've also been implementing different laws of the universe, like different laws, and I can also learn from them as well. So I'm going to embody more of this energy. I want it to become who I am. I'm still not that comfortable talking about it just yet. Even though it is who I am, talking about it, it's still like I'm still learning how it fits. But I want to continue doing that. I want to continue exploring who I am when I share all of these details with you. And I like this version of me that is coming out. It's taken a lot for me to understand the depth that I do with respect to certain aspects of my business, energy, manifestation, and I feel like now that it is part of my identity, I can share it, and so now the sharing part of it is going to become my identity. I hope that makes sense. Alrighty, okay, this is where I'll leave you for today. I really hope that this helped you in some way. If there's something deeper in your understanding, or you've seen this happen in your own business, in your own life as well, definitely do share it with me. I would love to hear your story as well. I would love to hear like these glimmers, and then how those glimmers became permanent additions into your external reality. Absolutely would love to hear it as well. Alrighty, if you like this video, definitely do give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because that tells you every single time I do upload a YouTube video. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye-bye!